Hello, everyone. This is Bill Apter, and I just finished taping an episode of Count It Out with Mike and Tyler, or Tyler and Mike. They're brilliant hosts. You've got to listen. You've got to see. Count It Out. Yeah, I endorse it. They've got the After Chat seal of approval.
The following podcast may contain immature content created by Danny Parkhill and Michael Walsh. Listener discretion is strongly advised.
Oh, Jesus. It tells me it's being recorded.
Would you snort coke off a homeless man's dick for $1 million?
Well, just the one line?
Yeah, just one line. Knowing for a fact that you are not one for the drugs. And as far as I know, not one for homeless dick.
Well, rather
would you
any port in the storm.
But for $1 million, would you snort one line of cocaine, good old coquina, off of a homeless man's erect penis?
How have I just met the homeless man? Like, is this just random passerby?
No!
Right now,
are
you the homeless man?
No, I am hand choosing this man. I am hand picking him myself.
How do you know? Well, if you're hand picking him, you know a lot of homeless people. Is it?
Dude, I lived in Uptown Montreal for 6 years. I know a lot of homeless people.
Oh shit. To give you an answer, I mean, fuck, man, I'm not gay or homeless, but $1 million is $1 million.
This is what I'm saying. And the correct answer to that is I am not Danny Parkhill.
No soy Michael Walsh, pero es una pina de lata. Right.
That's right.
I don't want to tell you what that means. I don't want to ruin all the potential corporate sponsors that Tyler has lined up for you. Yeah, but sure. Let's just say that I've now learned the word rat penis in several different languages. Yeah.
All leading up to you.
Oh, I am not Michael Walsh. So that was what I fucking said. It's sort of the gimmick.
Yeah. But for one night only, this is The Lasting Mark. This is a reunion show, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, you are rusty. This is gonna be bad.
You are expecting Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. What we're bringing you is a reunion show of my original podcast. Me and this son of a bitch right here from the Russell Media days used to do a show called The Lasting Mark, and that's what you're getting today. We're scrapping the list. We're not doing a list today. It is me and Danny doing The Lasting Mark. We're just going to shoot the shit about wrestling and kick it old school, man.
None of that counting lists shit.
No counting lists.
Fucking Tyler's the baby face. Like, this is his fucking show. Here I am healing. It's like, yeah, screw this show. Do it my way. I'm the guest here.
And there was never a baby face on the Lasting Mark. So
true enough. That's true. Yeah, man. I'm excited to be here, especially in YouTube format. So
we didn't do this back in the day, right? We
exactly.
Never did.
The 20 listeners who listen to The Lasting Mark can see my fro in person, and anybody who actually listens to Count It Out who has seen my face at this point has probably turned it off, so it's all good. I should explain. Left side of my face is swollen. Left side of my face is a little bit swollen. I have
on account of the mumps.
On account of the mumps, yeah. I have an abscessed tooth, hopefully, touch wood, coming out tomorrow. But until then, I look like I'm chewing a wad of tobacco. but Daddy took 2 Tylenol with codeine, and let me tell you, son, that's kicking right in right now, Michael.
Well, I want to get into what you got going on other than the abscess tooth. But before I do that, I do got to hit some housekeeping. First and foremost, as we say every week, if you haven't been to prowrestlingtees.com/countedout7 and gotten one of these bad boys right here, you're missing out. Man, not only are we selling this shirt. This shirt was designed by mutual friend Jason Reeves of Jaybird Digital Arts, who also made the Danny franchise shirt.
That is correct, and
we share a designer. We're Eskimo brothers in the designer world.
In more ways than one, if you know what I mean. No, but Jay is so first of all, if you're a worker and listening to this, or even someone who needs any design work done, working with Jay legitimately, and this is not me, being a paid shill, because like Jay wouldn't want to pay for this shit. but no, he did excellent work, and with a ridiculous rate and great time. It was fantastic.
100%.
And he's a kick-ass dude, so like it all evens out.
The week I asked him for the design, I gave him my idea. I said, do what you want with it, but this is the rough idea that I want. He says to me, give me some time because I'm in the middle of moving offices, so it might take some time. I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking, that's right. I'm thinking a couple weeks, right? Mm-hmm. In less than 24 hours, he comes back with me with the design.
Nuts.
The original design looked like Tyler had pubic hair growing off his chin. Because it was based off the picture that Tyler gave us. So right. I told him, it's like, listen, Tyler's a little flustered about the pubes on his chin. Is there any way you can fix that? Within minutes, the man sends me the design that we ended up using.
Yeah, it is.
Like, he's such a pro. His rates are unbeatable. Yeah. I'm not gonna tell people online, if you want to know how much he charges, you call him. But let's just say they're very competitive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, don't take it from 2 dudes on the internet. He's done tons of work for rock shows, for comedy shows, all sorts of different stuff. Tommy Dreamer's worn his merchandise on television. Might be talking about Tommy Dreamer a little bit later, but Tommy Dreamer has worn his merchandise. Jaybird Digital Arts T-shirt is in the video game there. The retroware gimmick.
Oh, that's right. About. That's right, on Retro Mania.
Your designer's in a video game. Bitch.
Very good.
Anyway, Jaybird Digital Arts, go do that. That's if you need any work done, that's your guy for sure.
Other housekeeping, don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button right at the bottom if you're listening on YouTube. If you're listening on Apple or any of those things, please give us a review or anything like that. Anything helps. Now to the fun stuff.
Sorry in advance for all the cuss words. YouTube audience.
I am not sorry at all. I am.
The sun is on to you too.
I am loading up on the Cottage Springs, and this is going to feel good tonight.
Let's go. Have some fun, man.
Ooh, that's a sour one. All right, let's get to the good stuff now, man. What we're gonna get to the number one reason we got you on this week in a minute. But what have you been doing since the last thing, Mark, man?
Short answer is not a whole lot. I had I have 2 young kids, so I've kind of just been in dad mode. I've been doing, I've been going back to school actually for music production, all online, but through Coursera. If anybody's interested in that if anybody's interested in really any field, they should at least check out Coursera. If you're interested in learning more about something, it is what it is, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you're paying whatever it is, 30, 40, 50 bucks, depending on what you want to learn per month for what you want to learn, but it's through accredited universities, right? Yeah. In my case, it was the Berklee College of Music. So I'm just right now, yay close finishing the thing. So that's mainly what I've been focused on. And that's in music production. So
and you're gonna have some new music coming out yourself, right?
That's right. Yeah. So that's my kind of final project, if you will. At the end of this is I'm writing a record. So I'm right now kind of if we're going to use a house building analogy, I've gotten everything kind of planned out, got all the supplies, got the foundation built. Now it's just sort of putting everything together and seeing how it all works out. So hopefully, I'm hoping by the end of summer, there'll be a record out. I wish I could tell you more about it at the moment, but all I can tell you is that it's going to be heavy but pretty poppy as well, man. We're gonna have some hip hop in there. We're gonna have a lot of hard rock. Yeah, it's gonna be some fun.
Well, while you're waiting to see him headline the Budweiser stage,
oh fuck, I don't know about that.
You can see our good friend Danny in his persona of Danny Franchise at Chinlock Wrestling this June. Dude, you're getting a fucking title shot.
I'm getting a fucking title shot. Who booked this shit?
The last time we saw you at a Chinlock show, you literally tore the fucking house down.
Oh, God.
Which you've never told that story on this show, so that's going to happen today.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Fair enough.
I don't care how many times you've told that in your life. It's happening today.
I've come to terms with it being a career highlight, but
but the fact is, the last time you're in a Chinlock ring was a little infamous for you. How much of a surprise was it when Jen calls you up and says, "By the way, we're putting you with Jesse"?
Well, it was Justin, first of all, who Facebook messaged me, and this was about a week and a half before it was officially announced.
Right.
And, he was like, kayfabe this. And he sent me the poster done by Jason Rees of me versus Jesse Mack. And I popped out of my boots because I'm not the guy. I don't know how to put this without sounding weird, but there's a lot of guys that are in the indies or even wrestling on Chinlock and absolutely fully should be, that are really focused on advancing as professional wrestlers and working as much as possible and eventually making it to a major promotion, which is excellent. At this point, I'm not that guy. I just love wrestling and I want to go out there and perform and have some fun and maybe connect with some people while I'm at it, right? Like that's sort of what I'm out there to do. So the opportunity to do that in a title match with somebody like Jessie Mack, who in and of herself is a really good performer. I mean, we're shooting on this show. She's a really good performer and honestly one of the toughest people I've ever met. Like this is someone who legit took a pile driver through a pane of glass, and that was from her fucking baby daddy. I should have had. Excuse me. So I'm really excited for it, man.
And not only that, it's for the Kale Memorial title, which is
and that's a big deal
which is obviously near and dear to Jan's heart. For those who don't know, this title was created in memory of Jan's past brother. So this is obviously very near and dear to Jan's heart. So he's not going to just pick any schmo to represent this title. So the fact that you're even in this match, it's got to tell you something of Jan and Justin's opinion of you.
Yeah.
Even if not a worker, as at least a human being.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the way, and thank you for saying that, first of all. And the way it was put to me by Justin is it's like, you put a lot of work into this and you have a lot of dedication and you've done a lot for Chinlock and we appreciate that. And I wanted to show that appreciation by putting you in a title match, right? And in a headlining match. Yeah. And I really appreciate that. I don't plan on letting anyone down on that. I'm as they say on ESPN all the time, I'm in the best shape of my life, baby. I'm down to slim, trim, friggin' 190.
Rounds of shape.
Well, yeah. Hey, I've lost around the midsection now. Now, ADHD drugs have helped. I'm not saying get on the Adderall. unless you have ADHD, in which case, yeah, don't abuse it. That's what I'm saying, but it helps, I guess, as I drink my beer.
But before we get really into the show, we brought up Justin. Let's talk about Justin for a minute. CJ Felony. Let's kayfabe this. The work CJ Felony has been doing on.
Let's talk about Lisa S. That's too obvious. Let's call her L. Simpson.
The shit that CJ Felony has been doing on social media is fucking genius.
Yeah,
it is so fucking good right now. Anybody who's not following the stuff on the Chinlock YouTube page needs to get on there. He is so fucking funny, and it's all led to him going up against the man that I thought would want a piece of you after the last Chinlock show in Tommy Dreamer.
Oh. No, well, Dreamer was pissed at me, but he's not pissed enough to fucking put me anywhere near a spot like that. Yeah, no, that's gonna be. Well, I mean, I haven't spoken to Justin about it, but I can tell you, knowing Justin personally, he absolutely loves that and feels, and probably feels kind of the same as I just said, where he doesn't intend on letting anyone down. That's going to be a great match, to say the very least. Justin is going to get his ass beat, but it's going to be great. There's not much more I can say about it. He's just going to take his shit kicking.
Other than these two title matches, do you know much else that's been already announced for this show?
Oh God. Again, sorry, you're catching me on a acetaminophen brain. There was Junior Benito versus, and I remember thinking this is really cool. Hold on, you see, now I got to go look at this up.
Well, that's it.
Edit this part out. This makes me look like shit. Edit this out.
That's if Junior makes it that far after he's going to face Jeff Cobb in a couple weeks.
Oh my God, So anybody who has not seen Junior Benito work now, and this is,
and I love. Don't get me wrong, I love Junior. I'm going to be
100%.
I'm going to see Junior. I'm going to see Junior in 2 weeks from now at Barry Wrestling, and I'm going to see him the day after he faces Cobb, and I hope he makes it.
Well, so the thing with Junior Benito, so he was trained, I believe, and someone might correct me on this, but I believe he's trained by Dark Order, Uno and Stu.
I'm pretty sure he's one of Uno. He's one of Uno's boys, yeah.
And as is McCrae Martin, who, oh my God, he's also ridiculously talented.
And Hot Stepper's going to be at that Barry show as well. I can't
Yeah. Junior Benito, I don't know how old he is now, but when he started, the kid was like 16 years old. Like this kid was a baby, like he would come to shows and like he would outperform everybody else on the show. Like, it's ridiculous. And it's like, this dude has been around for like a year and he's way better than
Did you see his match with Davey? Did you see his match at C4 with Davey Richards?
I have not, unfortunately, but now that you mentioned that, I'm going to have to go drag it down and watch it.
It was one of the first C4 shows back from the pandemic, and it was fucking nuts. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, no, he's extremely talented, and the opponent for Chinlock on June 4th is Carter Mason.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah. So there's that. No, and Carter Mason is ridiculously talented as well. I'll be totally honest and say I'm not as familiar with his work as I probably should be, but he's from what I've seen of him, he's absolutely fantastic.
Well, I have a list of names we're gonna go through later. We're gonna have a good talk about the Ontario Indies. Well, let's finish up with Chinlock.
Sorry. There was the last thing for Chinlock. There was KL Shock, the mystery partner, versus oh God, what are their names now?
Fear the Beard?
Not Fear the Beard. The Freak. Freak Nation.
Oh yeah. Freak Nation. Yeah.
Frig. Yeah, no, they're that's also again Freak Nation and all three of those guys, and I'm sure whoever the mystery partner is are all ridiculously talented. So,
And if I'm not mistaken, Fear the Beard got signed for the show too, right?
They'll be there almost like 1,000,000%, and they should be, because they're those guys that not only very, very talented in the ring, but work hard and ridiculously nice guys. So
they're a big part of that. They're a big part of that Eastern scene too. That Eastern Ontario scene.
Yes, they were. For sure. They just did a show in Cornwall, Seaway Valley Wrestling.
That's right, just a couple days ago.
They took a big bump through table there. One of them tossed a motherfucker to another motherfucker through the table. So.
Yeah. All right, hit me with the date of that Chinlock show.
June the 4th, and the only reason I remember that is because it's 2 days before Dickface Conton's birthday. Dickface Adam Conton. Yeah.
Well, do you know what? Also, it's 2 days before
Chinlock fucking wrestling.
What?
Never mind. Carry on.
Chinlock wrestling is not 2 days before Chinlock wrestling.
No, I thought you were talking about Adam's birthday.
No. So
okay, what? Go.
June the 4th is 2 days before the 6th.
Yes,
which is correct. The due date of my daughter.
Oh shit! Well,
and I didn't realize it was Satchel's birthday. I actually had no idea that. Now it's a good chance the kid's going to come early. The chances of her being born on his birthday is fucking slim.
Yeah, but
she's already measuring pretty fucking big. So I doubt she's going to go full term. But her due date is the 6th. Which is the one and only reason I will not be a Chinlock. And this pisses me off. Chinlock 5, I was supposed to be there with you and all the guys. God. It ends up being on the day that fucking it ends up being on the day that my house closed. Yeah.
That's right.
Chinlock 6 gets canceled by the fucking pandemic. Now finally Chinlock comeback. I'm so excited. And it's on the week that my fucking kid's being born. I can't win. God. I can't win. And the exact same week is also the comeback show of Northland Wrestling.
Oh, yes, that's right, eh?
Yeah, I just can't fucking win. I'm going to be going to Barrie Wrestling in a couple of weeks from now on May 14th. And that's probably the last show you'll see me at, in a long time.
Yeah, I just belched as well. Wouldn't be the last thing, Mark, if we didn't belch all over the goddamn place.
No shit.
Yeah.
So give them the venue, because that venue, it's not actually in Kingston. It's just outside.
Well,
Kingston,
yeah,
right?
it's Westbrook. It's 1485 Westbrook Road. It's the Thousand Island Sports Park, Kingston Thousand Island Sports Park.
That's it.
Place. Yes.
Awesome. So we will. Tyler and I will talk more about the show as more matches are brought out and stuff like that. I'm hoping to get Jan on the show before Jan or Justin on the show before the show actually happens. We're really going to promote the shit out of the show because we're big fans of Chinlock. Moving on. What else do we want to fucking talk about today? All right. Well, I barely get to talk to you anymore. All right. You and I are so fucking busy between work and kids and all that shit that you and I don't shoot the shit the way we used to.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So I don't even know what the fuck you're watching these days. What do you like in wrestling? What do you watch?
Watching a lot of AEW. Okay. Although I'm a couple weeks behind, to be honest, with Dynamite and shit.
Right. Well, they have like 4 fucking shows. It's hard to keep up, right?
Yeah, I don't. Again, like as you know, man, I only got so much time in a week, right? So I'm trying to like catch the highlights of everything to an extent. Yeah. But I watch AEW. I watch a lot of New Japan. Again, I'm a little like a titch behind on that. I keep up with Noah these days, believe it or not.
Do you? Really?
Yeah, just a little bit. I'm kind of starting to dive into it just a touch, see how I like it. Super Crazy is there as a main eventer. He's really fat and old.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Crazy.
All right.
What else? I feel like I'm missing something important. I'll follow ROH when it comes back out for see what's going on there. The WWE pay-per-views, and that's about it.
Do you keep up with Impact at all, or?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I did forget about Impact. I do keep up with Impact. I can't say I watch everything.
The only 2 products I watch right now are Impact and NWA.
Okay.
And I'm going to be honest with you, not number one, the two of my like the best products out there. I do think that Impact has the best product out there today. I really do truly believe that. And NWA has a really fun product. NWA really does have a fun product, but it's good for me because each fucking show is an hour long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's the way ROH was before they went down. I watch ROH weekly because it's an easy fucking hour show. I can't sit down and watch 3 hours of fucking Monday Night Raw. I can't do it. You know what I mean?
Even it could
even if the product was good, exactly. Yeah. Even if it was a good product, I can't do a 3 hour show anymore. I just can't.
Yes, I can't invest that much time. And I hate to say it, but I'm a grown ass man, man. I'm a 35-year-old man. I have two kids. I have a job, a full time.
I only have so much free fucking time, and I have to spend it wisely. And if I'm going to spend any of it on wrestling, it's got to be wrestling that I'm really going to enjoy. And unfortunately, WWE is just not that right now. I will watch the big four pay-per-views, and I will watch the mid pay-per-views if something cool is happening.
Yeah,
that's about it though. AEW, I'm starting to get interested in finally. AEW, I was lost on for a long time. It just wasn't for me. But with the ROH merger happening, it's getting interesting. A lot of the guys that I like from ROH are coming over, and I like that. The stuff with Danielson and Mox is very interesting to me.
Yes.
Even I'm not a Punk fan, but the stuff that they've been doing with Punk is very interesting to me. So I'm getting a little back into AEW right now.
Okay, so what do you have that there you are? There's a question. Do you have anything that you need to get caught up with AEW in particular? Anything that you don't know?
Everything. I haven't sat down and watched a full episode of Dynamite in months. Okay. But what I'm saying is I'm interested in getting back involved because the things I'm hearing and the clips I'm seeing, I'm like, okay, I can get into that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For the longest time, we talked about this a couple weeks ago on the show here. For the longest time, I was the biggest advocate of Hangman Page. And I said, hang that title on Hangman Page. Unfortunately, and this is what I said last week, here's the thing about this title run. Every single week, I get texts or calls from friends that watch AEW trying to turn me over. Always say, and they're telling me about what Mox is doing. They're telling me about what CM Punk's doing. They're telling me about what Daniel Bryan's doing and all this shit. Guess what? They're not telling me. They don't say shit about Page.
Yeah.
That's got to tell me something about their champion. As much as I love Page, his championship reign is just not what anybody, including myself, wanted or expected it to be.
I think
so. I wasn't expecting Punk to be. I didn't think Punk should be hoisting the title yet, but it is time to take it off Page. So maybe Punk is the man.
It's interesting. On one hand, I kind of feel like, well, I don't know. He has been given a whole lot of stuff to work with, right? Kind of the stuff that he's been involved in.
That's kind of the point, though. He's got a lot to work with, and he still hasn't gotten. He's not even in the top 3 over categories on the show.
Yeah.
Like Mox and Bryan are far more over than he is. Punk is far more over than he is. MGF is far more over than he is.
Saying Punk is more over than he is like saying fucking Jesse Jones is more over than fucking me. I don't know.
you went fucking far for that one.
I did. I kind of lost my train of thought halfway through there. No, but it's of course Punk is more popular than Hangman Page. Like it's Punk has years and years.
My point is look at WWE. The most over man in that fucking organization right now is hoisting both those titles over his fucking head. Nobody can touch Roman right now. Nobody. No, Roman is the most over motherfucker in the last 5-6 years of WWE, and he's the champion. Now, who's more over than Roman in the last fucking decade almost?
In decade? Geez, now you're Cena for starters. Are you talking in terms of booking, or are you talking in terms of merchandise sales? Because if you're talking merchandise sales,
fuck merchandise sales.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. But even okay, let's say in the last 5 years, Roman Reigns has had a fucking death grip on WWE. I mean, fuck, like
in terms of marketing, 100%, yes.
In like he's the only thing worth watching as far as I'm concerned.
Well, okay, hold on. Shout out to my boy Kevin Owens. Shout out to Sami Zayn.
When I want to tune in, yeah, but those are afterthoughts for me, man. Those are guys that I watch the pay-per-view. I'm like, oh man, they were awesome on the pay-per-view. They're not the reason I turn on the pay-per-view.
Motherfucker, you don't like almost?
Okay, I know you're fucking around, but I do like almost. You don't
like Gunther? That's racist. His name is not German, pal.
I don't hate the name changes as much as everybody else does. I'll give you that.
I just don't fucking get it. I'm sorry. I know this is a tangent. Why do they think their audience is fucking stupid? Why shorten their names? I don't fucking. Okay,
no, because he's gone to the
Riddle. I get. Otherwise, I don't fucking like. Why just call Otis Dozovich Otis? Like, what do you think? People are too fucking stupid to understand the last name Dozovich? Like, it's heavy machinery, right? Dozovich, Dozer.
Yeah, but that doesn't roll off the top. I get Otis. Plus, he's a big, dumb looking fat dude.
But when I think of Otis,
fucking fits him.
When I think of Otis, I think of two things. I think of Otis Nixon. Shout out Matt Sukrum. And I think of Otis Day and the Knights. Otis, my man.
I think of Otis Redding, but all right.
Yeah, well, Otis Day. Oh, did that man like cocaine? Shout out to Animal House. Carry on. Sorry. Where were we?
Fuck. Getting back to Impact.
Yes.
The new home of the Briscoes. If anything's going to make you want to watch Impact, it's got to be them boys, right?
Oh God, yeah. I like the Briscoes. Like they're. I don't know how to describe it. They have always been that team that has always seemed like they were always going to be kind of that independent team. Like they've never been. Like I don't think anyone's ever said like, oh, the Briscoes should go to WWE. They'd be fantastic there. It's like not. I shouldn't say no one's ever said that.
I'm sure people have said it, but
yeah,
any real fans of the Briscoes don't want that though.
Well, exactly.
Because they won't be the Briscoes anymore.
Exactly right. That's sort of what I'm getting to. They're very much their own people and their own gimmick, and that doesn't really work with that product. But exactly. I mean, Impact is, but they are other than AEW is kind of the next best thing, and AEW is kind of the same deal. Like, I don't know if it'd go over too well.
Warner doesn't want. Warner has made it very clear. Warner's made it very clear that they don't want them because of something Jay said several years ago. Doesn't age well. Fine, whatever. But unfortunately, the only big promotion that would take them is Impact. But that doesn't break my heart, man, because number one, Impact's got a great tag division. And Impact's a fun fucking show for them. Number two, what I love about the Briscoes is their ability to get over no matter where they go. They go all over the indies. They go all over the indies. And while they're with Impact, they'll still be able to do that.
Yeah.
If they were with WWE, they wouldn't be allowed to do that. So I would never want to see them tied down to one promotion. Because even when they were, yes, they were ROH boys, but ROH allowed them to do whatever the fuck they want. That is the Briscoes that I always want to see. You know what I mean? The Briscoes who just fly around the world, kicking ass, doing what the fuck they want. That's them boys to me.
Yeah, I agree.
And we'll continue to see that in Impact Wrestling for hopefully the next few years.
And we'll hopefully, as you said, since we can see them in Impact and other promotions, we could still continue to see them in GCW too. Because
let's get to some. Are you up with GCW right now? I'm a little behind.
I'm going to be total. So yes, I'm a month-ish behind.
Okay. I just honestly, it got too much for me because I do pay for my wrestling. Okay, right, I don't do the illegal streams, and it got to the point where I was spending $19.99 every 2 weeks for a GCW pay-per-view, and then all of a sudden it was $19.99 every week, and then it was $19.99 one week and $39.99 the next week. It got too fucking much. You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
It really. So I am very behind on GCW. I just couldn't keep up with it. But they do have, up until let's say 2 months ago, one of my favorite products of the, let's call it the pandemic era.
Yeah. And I agree. To me, it's just something fresh, right?
Yeah,
it's something
different.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be that ECW connection, right? And I mean, that's been acknowledged by GCW themselves. They ran Hammerstein Ballroom, and it was very ECW-like, and they made that very clear, right? But other than GCW, there's not really any, frankly, any good promotions that do death matches kind of right, you know what I mean? And do ultra violence right. But they're also providing another product on top of that, right? If you're like, okay, well, death matches are sort of, I don't.
I think that's why it took me so long to get into death matches, because before GCW, the only real place to watch real death match wrestling was CZW, and let's be perfectly honest, CZW is a shit product. It really is. There's no stories being told. There's no. Other than the CZW versus ROH stuff, which was phenomenal, I never got into the CZW product, and I let that ruin deathmatch wrestling for me. It wasn't until GCW came around and I really got into that product. Like, this is what deathmatch wrestling can be, and it gives you a little bit of everything. It gives you your comedy. It gives you your fucking hardcore death shit. It gives you your stories. It gives you everything you want in one fucking tight show. And I don't think anyone's done deathmatch as good as GCW.
Tyler Wolf and Adam Contant, put your earmuffs on. Watching CZW is like getting a lap dance from a really old stripper and then getting a $5 lazily done hand job. It's sort of like, it does, it's like you get what you wanted, but you kind of feel shitty about yourself afterwards. It's sort of like, what depth did I go to? Like, was that really necessary of me? Or like when you're scrolling for porn and then you come across like some like weird fucked up shit, like animal porn or something like that. You're like, whoa, no, like what? And then you kind of think about it for a second. You're like, what the fuck am I doing that I came across animal porn? This didn't happen to me. It happened to a friend of mine.
But they could do it again. But they could do it again a month later.
It's like you feel guilty,
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about that stuff, man. Nobody's talking about, no podcast talking about post-nut clarity.
CZW, the animal porn of the wrestling world.
Hey, boys and girls, this is your old buddy, your old pal, Danny Franchise, and I'm here to tell you that no one busts a nut like the Counted Out podcast. Bam!
Oh, man. John Zandig has a hit out on you now.
Anyway, all that to say, yeah, I agree with everything. Oh, fuck.
Fuck.
That's never going to see the light of day.
All right. I want to get into our conversation about indie wrestling. I really do. Before we do, I'm going to bring back an old chestnut from the Lasting Mark days. Something we used to do every week on the Lasting Mark. We called it the cock of the week. So every week we picked somebody in the wrestling world that was just a piece of shit. 92% of the time it was either Jim Cornette, New Jack, or Sabu. This week it's not any of those guys, surprisingly.
Why would they fuck up so much? It's like, just stop talking, stop doing social media. Like, just stop.
Well, that's it. I haven't seen Sabu do anything in a while. Good for him.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'll leave all my New Jack jokes aside. And, Cornette's too busy watching people fuck his wife to do anything to piss me off.
So cucking, and it's an art form. You can find it on Pornhub next to the animal porn.
All at czw.com. Cock of the week this week is Andrew Kent. No, I lie. He's not our cock of the week, but it wouldn't be the lasting mark if I didn't shit on Andrew Kent at least once. I haven't shit on Andrew Kent on a podcast in fucking 3 years. It's got to happen at least once.
Andrew Kent is a Yankees fan.
Bitch. Isn't Tommy Dreamer a Yankees fan?
Oh, yeah, but he's also not a bitch. Tommy Dreamer ain't no bitch.
The real cock of the week is the big cock, fucking Ryback.
What the fuck?
Not only is he the cock of the week, he might be the cock of the fucking decade.
What did he do this time?
Well, this guy just can't get over the fact that he's just no longer relevant. Every fucking day he's got to put out a TikTok or a fucking tweet or something just to be like, look at me, everybody, I'm still here. He's constantly doing those fucking polls where he's like, but guys, fucking, if you say if he'll put up a poll saying, should I go to WWE, AEW, or should I retire?
Oh, okay, I did. And every time someone says retire,
98% of the people say retire, gets all pissed off and says, fucking bots, fucking stop sabotaging me. He's a fucking idiot. Him and Tony Khan must be best fucking friends. Talking about fucking WWE fucking hiring bots to fucking sabotage them. It's fucking ridiculous.
That had to be a work. Not Tony Khan thing. That had to be a work.
I don't think so. Whatever. I think he.
I have no basis to.
I think he buys his cocaine from Ryback. Now, that's not the worst thing Ryback has done lately. Did you see Ryback's tweet a couple days ago?
No, I have not.
Where he took a shot at the old man again?
What do you do now? Fuck. Why would you do that?
He makes a comment at about Vince McMahon, talking about how Vince must have had a hard life growing up with a whore mother. Anybody who doesn't know, Vince McMahon's mother died at the age of 101 like 2 months ago.
Yeah, this was recent. Recent.
He went out and called Vince McMahon's mother a whore on Twitter.
Bad. No, why the fuck? Even if I'm okay, I'm in general not a hateful person, except for Jessie Mack. I'm gonna punch her dead in the fucking face.
I thought you were gonna say I'm just gonna punch her dick.
Right in the dick.
Right in the dick. The old dick twist.
Dick and twisted. No, I don't. I'm not someone who hates a lot of people, right? But so even despite his mother's death being so recent, saying something like that is just really fucked up, I think, especially in this day and age.
Why do it? Why go for it?
Why do it in the first place? Especially on social media where that's a public thing. I could give a whole fucking
and once it's there,
2-hour TED talk about that shit.
Yeah.
But exactly what good could it possibly fucking do, right? best case scenario, people are like, hey, you know, great, my back is pregnant. And then, you know, worst case scenario in his mind is exactly what's happening, I'm sure, which is people calling him a fucking idiot for saying something like that. Period. Never mind like social media and all that.
Well, people did.
And that's again not even saying that his mother died like 2 fucking months ago. Like, and he knew that.
People did call him an idiot, and he retorted with, "I can't believe all you people are defending a billionaire piece of shit like Vince McMahon." And he goes on. He's never wrong. That's the problem with this fucking like narcissistic piece of shit. Is in his brain. He's never fucking wrong. He's always in the right. Everybody's bad. I'm good. He's your textbook narcissist.
Vince McMahon has done a lot of wrong things in his life, if rumors are to be believed, up to and including quite literally getting a man away with murder. But I don't think that really justifies someone being able to say something like that, especially in a public forum about one's parent. You know what I mean? Like,
unless you're talking about Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah, well, fuck. You just
wouldn't
did that.
Wouldn't be the lasting mark if we didn't.
You just did that to pop Jeff DeHaan and get
pretty much. Jeff. Pretty much.
Yeah. And that was one of the first. No, well, actually, no, that's not true. I'm sorry. I was thinking of Ruby, and she was talking to Uncle Satch. But one of the first things my son said to Jeff was "Get bent, Uncle Jeff."
That's amazing.
Yes, so I'm very proud of that. But yeah, no, fuck, man, fuck Ryback. Yes, he deserves to die, and I hope they burn in hell. I don't really think I hope he deserves to die. I don't actually think that. The line from what fucking Samuel L. Jackson movie is that? I quote it from the Chappelle Show anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter. Carry on. What's the next topic there, Dick Face?
Jurassic Park?
No.
All right. 2 more things before we start bringing it home.
Fuck me. How long have this been going? Jesus Christ. Are you still listening to this?
We are going to be talking. We are going to have a big talk about some indie wrestling in a minute. We're going to talk about the Ontario indie scene because I like talking to guys who've been around the Ontario indie scene. Guys, you know, I mean, you've been in locker rooms. You've been in, you know, obviously Chinlock.
I'm a low bar, sir.
I get it. But you've been there. You've met people. You've seen people. You've been to a lot of indie shows, which is important. You know a lot of the guys I'm going to talk about. So I want to talk about the guys who we think are going to be the guys to talk about. The guys we're going to be seeing at a higher level in the next few years. Mm-hmm. Before we do it, though, talking about locker rooms, let's talk about that Chinlock locker room when you were making your way to the ring at Chinlock 5. We need that story before we get to our last piece.
So apologies to anyone who's heard this story before on the lasting mark or anybody that we know who I've told the story
Tyler
to before.
begged me to get you to tell this story, by the way.
Okay. So anyone who's heard this story before, probably Rob Arbic in particular, man, if you haven't heard this story, you'll enjoy this one. But I think, was he there? I feel like he was there.
It's very possible he was there.
Yeah.
I don't know that he was there, but well, I mean, and that's why it's so funny that Tyler wants to hear the story so bad. He was there. He was in the crowd that night.
So that night, this was 2019, June of 2019, Chinlock 5. Jesus.
Yeah, because it was the anniversary show. It was the big one.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Where all the legends came in, right?
That's right. Yes, all sorts of legends. In fact, that plays a major part. So
yeah,
we had this Chinlock Rumble, right? That was my role in the show. Is you know, it was like a Royal Rumble type thing, and you know, the winner is going to get a title shot. Yada yada yada. So I'm getting ready to do my entrance now. The backstage area. Try to paint a picture in your mind here. If I'm looking straight ahead, there's a staircase leading up to. Like a wide staircase leading up to a bit of a ramp, which was the entrance ramp, right? There was a big curtain kind of between the steps, but then the smaller curtain was on the entranceway, like a little further up, right? It was like more forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So behind the big curtain, Jimmy Hart's on this side, Mark Henry's on that side. Friggin' Justin and so Justin had just worked in match before, CJ Felony.
Yeah.
So, and then he had hurt his shoulder. So myself and Jan and Tommy Dreamer and a couple of the other guys were all kind of converging around there, making sure he was all right, that kind of thing, and shooting the shit. Meanwhile, I'm getting ready, and I'm getting all hyped up and all that kind of thing, and getting the butterflies in the stomach, which I wouldn't change for anything because that's part of the reason why
it's
I
part
did
of it, man. Yeah, for sure.
And my music hits, and "Take on Me" by Real Big Fish, and you hear the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I come out the curtain, and I do my hey. And
anybody who's never seen Danny Franchise live, I got to paint this picture before he tells the rest of the story. You are, forgive the term, but you're a comedy wrestler, yeah.
I am, yes. Well, no, I'm not. I'm not offended by that. I'm most definitely a comedy wrestler.
You're very hammy. You're very animated.
Yes.
So when you come out, you do that arm thing, and you're very, very fucking like I said, very animated, right?
Exactly.
So you got to picture this in your head if you've never seen this guy live, coming up from the curtains, and these fucking arms are flailing like that. Go ahead.
That's right. My arms are out. In fact, so much so that so my left hand gets tied up in the curtain a little bit, and like I could feel it tied up in my hand. Like I can kind of halfway see it out of my peripheral vision. And I'm like, okay, so this is fine. I'm just going to kind of shake my hand out of it, and then I'll move on, right? And it's all fine and good. So I shake my hand out of it, and I start moving on, but it must have like somehow double wrapped around my hand or something like that. So at this point, the entire curtain starts falling behind me while I'm still hanging on to it. I turn around to grab it, and I do successfully grab it. From my perspective, I hear about 1,500. I don't know who. I think it was 1,500, if not more. I think it was more closer to $2,000.
What at the Leon? Dude, you guys tipped $2,000 that night.
Yeah, there you are.
I know that for a fact. Yeah.
Perfect. So there you are. So I'm holding this curtain up, and I just hear like 2,000 people go, "Oh!" And I'm like, there's that split second. It felt like fucking eternity, but there was like maybe 2 seconds where I'm thinking like, shit, how do I salvage this? And then I'm like, I made the decision. It's like, there is no salvaging this. Just drop the fucking curtain and pretend like nothing happened. Just go. So I dropped the curtain, and I kind of go, and there's a great video, and I'm sorry, I wish I know who took it and all that, but you can see my facial expression perfectly as I'm walking down the aisle. I'm like, sort of like, well, I fucked up,
Yeah. I have a great picture that Tyler took that night of you still wrapped in it, right? Now tell me. The rumor is, and you can tell me if there's real truth to this or not, or if this is just bullshit. The rumor was Tommy was fucking hot.
So I have been told he was what's called dreamer hot, which is hot, but not like legitimately fucking, I'm going to kill this kid mad, right?
Yeah.
The story I was told was, again, so keep in mind, I said Justin hurt his shoulder, so people were kind of converged around him.
Yeah.
The curtain, I guess dropped or whatever, and everyone kind of looked towards it. And again, this is third party information, right? This is, me getting told through someone else, but I guess, oh, you all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there. I guess Tommy had said, as soon as the curtain fell, Tommy had said, like, who the fuck was that? And Nick, a Catalyst or CJ Felony, or one of them had said, oh, that was Danny Franchise. And of course, Justin's like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like Tommy's like, oh, god damn it, who the fuck does that? But again, according, I did kind of say to Jan afterwards, like, fuck, man, like if I pissed him off, like legit, I'm sorry, like it wasn't my intention. And Jan's like, no, you had dreamer heat, right? Like he was mad, but he's like, he was Yonkers, New York mad. He wasn't fucking,
And man, it's been it's been a long running joke now for 2 years.
Oh God,
but not in a bad way. Then you at this point you have to embrace it, right?
Well, I think
like the fact that it was never turned into a gimmick is fucking beyond me.
Well,
I thought for sure that they were going to turn it into a thing where you were fucking up every show. Like you know what I mean? Because you were already a comedy gimmick. I wouldn't want it to be anybody else. If somebody else made a mistake like that, okay, don't do that. But because you're already a comedy guy,
yeah,
it would have made sense to me to every time now you come up and you're like you knock something over, or you know what I mean? It would have been funny. I'm surprised Jen never went that route.
Well, they did acknowledge it. So in the match announcement, I should say, for myself and Jesse for June the 4th at the fucking Kingston Thousand Islands Gimmick Center, they acknowledged it's like, oh, Danny Franchise best known for tearing the curtain down and dancing like Elaine at weddings. So like they acknowledged it, and yeah. Whoever wrote that is an asshole, and I know who wrote it, and fuck him. but no, as Adam
does it rhyme with BJ Bellany?
it might, just might. As Adam Conton told me after the show, he kind of said, look, if that happened to anybody else,
yeah,
it would be a bad thing. It was like
100%. The fact that happened, you could have made it work. You know that's it's good. Your character is what it is.
It's like so Danny Franchise can do that shit.
Exactly. Yeah. It's still funny to this day. I'll never stop making fun of you for it. It's the jokes don't get old.
At the end of the day, I do this shit to entertain people and to get a laugh out of people, and that's my way of connecting with people, right? Is making people laugh, or making people say, oh my God, look at this idiot making an ass out of himself, or look at this doofus hurting himself, yada, yada, yada. So if that's the way it happens, if people can say, haha, look at this dipshit who tore down the curtain, and jokingly, of course, right? Everyone, of course, is, oh my God, no, that was such fun, and you're great, and all that kind of thing. So I know it's all in good fun, and if that, if people enjoyed it, then shit, man, mission accomplished.
Speaking of making people laugh and everything, there's one thing that, again, I wish I had the book for any promotion, because this would be happening in my promotion. Something that somebody needs to do with you. We need to do segments of you getting dancing lessons from Hot Stepper. How good would that fucking shit be?
Well, that's a good segue into your little Ontario Indie segment.
Is it
of people that I want to see and that I think are going to be fantastic talents.
Well, let's start right there. Martin McRae, man, Hot Stepper. Young kid, right? He can't be older than what, 22, 23?
Yeah, he's a young kid, man. I think I don't know this for sure, but he's definitely early 20s.
I've been wanting. This sucks for both Tyler and I. We've known Hot Stepper for quite a while, because we funded and sponsored the All Ontario Cup. Counted out, we're very proud sponsors of the All Ontario Cup, and we got talking to a lot of competitors. We did interviews with them and shit like that. And one of the guys we talked to, we got to do work with, was Hot Stepper. Mm-hmm. But because we're not from the Ottawa area, we've never gotten to see him live. They finally brought him down to a fucking Barrie wrestling show last month. It was the one and only show that Tyler and I did not go to because we were
excuses, motherfucker.
Yeah. He will be at the show in a couple of weeks, so we'll finally get to see him there. So I'm happy about that. And he took on somebody last time that we're going to talk about in a minute, and he's taken on somebody this time that we're going to talk about in a minute. So this dude is going up against the cream of the fucking crop on the Ontario indie scene, and for a reason, because he's so good.
He's ridiculously talented, and again, man, he's got a good look to him. The first time I saw him, the first time I talked to him, I should say, he looked like he was wearing his Dixie cup gimmicks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, like, that's awesome. Like, where'd you get that? And he's like, I don't know, friggin', I got it at this store, wherever. But it's like, it works very well. And and he's only built it from there because he's so crazy talented. I do have a bias towards him because he's a musical theater kid. So, which I am also a musical theater kid, so I like that. He is significantly more talented than I ever was. But no, man,
his gimmick is fun.
Yeah.
If you've never seen him, imagine if Vanilla Ice wrestled. You know what I mean?
Well, it's his theme music is "Here Comes the Hot Stepper," right? So it's that early '90s.
Which is my second favorite theme on the Ontario indie scene today. We'll talk about my favorite in a few minutes. It just works for him so well. That music pops up and you really get into it. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've never gotten to see him live, but I do watch all of the C4 shows on IWTV. So I have seen all his matches for the last several years. He's such a fun guy. I can't wait to see him a couple weeks at May 14th at Barrie Wrestling. Speaking of other guys that I love and I think are going to make big names coming out of this area are two guys one guy that he fought at Barrie Wrestling a couple weeks ago, one guy he's fighting in a couple weeks. The first guy that he fought at the last show, giving his first win in Barrie Wrestling, a guy from the Buffalo scene. He's one of Puff's boys, and that's Young Jay Lee. Are you familiar with Young Jay?
I'll be honest with you. I don't think I've seen him work.
Okay, he's been doing the C4 shows.
I've heard the name.
I don't know how many C4 shows you've been to recently.
I haven't been.
You got to start hanging out with loyal listener Andrew Walsh a lot more.
Yeah, well, funny story. I might end up going to the next one. We'll see how that works out. But I have
Andrew goes to all the shows. Andrew goes to all the shows. Fucking ended up taking home Holden Albright and
that's right.
And Kobe Durst last
Durst.
time. Yeah, like that's crazy. Yeah. Both very good friends of the show.
Yes, absolutely.
But Young Jay Lee, like I said, he's from Buffalo, but he's huge on the Ontario scene. He goes anywhere Puff goes. Puff is massive on the Ontario scene.
Oh yeah.
No pun intended. But Puff is awesome in the fact that Puff, like, there's a reason they call them the Buffalo Boys. You know what I mean? You have Puff, you have Dangle Garcia, you have Kevin Blackwood. These are all guys from the Buffalo scene that are just huge in Ontario.
And also shout out to Kevin Bennett as well.
Absolutely.
Kevin Bennett, yes.
And then they keep adding to them. And one of the younger, upstarts coming out in this little Buffalo Boy crew is Young Jay Lee, little Korean kid.
Okay.
And he can fucking go. He is amazing. I can't wait to see what he's going to be doing at the next Barrie show. The other guy, the guy that's taking on Hot Stepper at the next Barrie show, I'm not sure if you've seen him, Danny. He's a massive name on the Barrie wrestling scene. He's big on Super Kick, if you see any Super Kick stuff. But he is a guy named Jesse V, also known as Clutch. This dude,
I think I've heard the name. Yeah,
this dude is built like a brick shit house. He has got, if he's not, he is Vince McMahon's wet fucking dream. He really is. Yeah. He's got everything Vince McMahon looks in his big guys. You know what I mean? He is muscular. He is charismatic. He is huge. He's talented. The first time I ever saw him live was at a Barrie wrestling show. Are you familiar with Travis Moore?
Yes.
Yeah. Travis Moore makes Marco Stunt look like the Ultimate Warrior. Yeah. All right. No offense to Travis. I love you, Travis. Travis is a big friend of the show, but he's not a big dude. Shit. All right. Fucking Travis got decimated by Jesse in a squash match the first time I ever saw Jesse live. Just got murdered. He picked him up, threw him in the air, caught him, slammed him down, and that was it. It was fucking ridiculous.
That's going to be Jeff Cobb versus Junior Benito.
Very, very, very possible. So keep an eye out for Jesse V. A guy that has already got to be on the radar of WWE right now is a guy that just appeared on the WWE network twice in the last month. Is a guy named Von Vertigo.
Okay.
The visionary himself.
Yeah, he's awesome. And he's going a lot of places.
I'm going to go ahead and say Von might be the best name to come out of the Ontario scene right now. He just did a massive tour of all of Europe, where he made a stop in ICW, Insane Championship Wrestling, which ended up being aired on the WWE Network. A couple of weeks later, he ends up in Progress Wrestling, which ends up being aired on the WWE Network. So he's got to be on their radar. Listen, he's not a big dude. I get it. He's not a big guy, but fucking he go. And I really hope that, like, if we don't see him on NXT in the next 5 years, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah, I don't. There's nothing really there that I can't see WWE saying no to it. Like, I mean, whatever. Yeah, he's not the traditional big guy, but I mean, neither is Theory, right? I mean,
exactly.
You look at Theory, and he's the same body type, right? Theory knows how to work, and he has a good gimmick, and he gets over. Same with Von Vertigo, right? Like, I mean, he gets over, again, as you said, he's one of the top Ontario talents. You can make an argument for well, I don't know, I don't want to say top 5 or whatever, but he's literally going places. As you said, he just went to Europe and is doing all that. So, I mean, he's doing very well, and he's working.
Exactly.
It's showing. That's,
another guy we talk about on the show a lot, not a big dude at all. Quite short, but fucking talented is Gabriel Pueza. Not sure if you're familiar with Pueza at all.
Yeah, I know him,
he's lighting a fire. He's collecting belts all over Ontario right now. It's insane. Co-owner of Crossbody Wrestling, Big Ben Ortmans. Could be a big name in the next few years. A guy I'm sure you're familiar with, Del Bruno.
Yes, yeah.
Very talented guy.
And
great gimmick. Love Del Bruno.
And a great worker, very underrated. I feel
very underrated.
Like in terms of the Ontario indie scene, mean, he's been around for a while. I don't know. He's under. I mean, that's my opinion. I'm just shooting.
100%. The Golden Gun, Mark Wheeler, needs to be talked about here. The guy who's all over the Ontario scene.
Yes.
Just forget about how good he is in the ring. He's one of the best characters in Ontario right now. He just has more charisma than 98% of the guys out there. There's something about him. Another guy is probably one of Vince McMahon's wet dreams just from the charisma alone.
That's the thing. Like, you can't. I'm of the opinion that charisma can't be taught. Like, you can't just either kind of have something that helps out with that, or you don't. And, Mark Wheeler does. So
if we're going to speak charisma, this might be the most charismatic man in the world, not just in wrestling. Let's talk about Pretty Ricky Weldley.
Yeah, well, again, lots of charisma.
Do you think Pretty Ricky do you think he's too niche? Do you think he's too indie? Or do you think there's room for him somewhere higher?
I think the fact that, I think if he's too indie, it's because he's that's the gimmick, is that he's too indie, right? So therefore he's not too indie, he's in on the joke, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a good one to judge, he should be doing this, he should be doing that. But I mean, he's working all across Ontario. He's got a good gimmick. He's from all accounts I hear, he's a great worker. There's not a single promoter that doesn't want to put him on a show, man. Yeah, exactly. So
he's a great hand to have on, and a great guy. Tyler and I have gotten to know Ricky pretty well over the last 6 months at Barry shows. Him and Puff are a tag team over there, and they're both just amazing guys. I love them both.
Yeah, absolutely. And Puff's a good guy too. Yeah, for sure. I agree.
A guy I'm sure you're very familiar with in Lionel Knight.
Yes, yeah, and again, a guy that's been around for a long time and doesn't really
long enough that I can't believe, what's he got to do to get bigger? You know what I mean? Like, there's guys like, for example, Holden Albright. Okay,
yeah,
Holden Albright's been around for a bit now, but at least he's been looked at. He's been on Impact.
Yeah, so that dude's hostile. Holden
Exactly.
Albright, he hustles.
Exactly. So, you know, if he, and this is, I'm not taking anything away from Holden at all. Excuse me. But if a guy like Holden can hustle that hard and get that hard, where's Lionel, man? I can't believe, because Lionel hustles too. So I can't believe we haven't seen Lionel on a bigger level yet, knowing how long he's been around.
Yeah, and again, he falls into, again, from my experience with him, he falls into that guy of, he falls into that area of, has always been a really good worker and has a good gimmick and has a really good look. He's shredded. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I don't have an answer for that, unfortunately, but yeah, I agree. He's a great talent.
I want to mention a team that I know you're going to fucking mark for, because you're the reason I even know about these guys. And then ever since you mentioned them a few years ago to me, I have followed them closely. And that's Tabarnak, the team.
Oh God, they're like so fantastic, right? Like what a.
I think TBT might be one of like guaranteed top 5 best tag teams in independent wrestling today.
Like anybody who hasn't seen these guys, imagine 2 completely jacked up lumberjacks, essentially, like big Quebecois men, like who look ready to fight. You know, like they're very well, you know, they're very well put together, and you know, like with the hair slicked back and all that, and you know, but they very much seem like people that you don't want to piss off, right? And that's the whole thing, is that when they get in the ring, they could beat the shit out of you, right? But they also have that charisma, and they have that Quebecois charm. You know what I mean? They got that, you know, I don't. And
even though, yes, they do a lot of their work in Quebec, but they're big on the Ontario scene, especially in the Ottawa area. Yeah, and C4, Seaway, they do a lot of that area stuff. You were there the night they C4, the night they took on Cody and MJF. Yeah,
that's right. Yes.
Yeah, you know, so they're on people's radars for sure.
Yeah. Well, Frank, the crowd was chanting for Cody.
I mean, they not only are they on Cody and MGS radar, C4 is the home of the Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So Uno and Grayson know them very well. So the fact that they haven't gone anywhere leads me to believe maybe they don't want to, because there's no way that
I don't know.
I don't know. They're just they're too talented to not have been picked up unless they just don't want to go any bigger.
Yeah, I don't want to speculate. I don't know them that well, right? But no, I agree. They're a ridiculously talented team. Again, at that show, at the end of that match, the Cody MJF match, the crowd was chanting for Cody to hire them, to the degree where Cody had to get on his phone. I'm using air quotes for the podcast people. Get on his phone and call Kenny Omega, who made the call to not hire them immediately, hung up on Cody, right? So, we can't hire him right now, but you know, maybe we'll see in the future, right? So like they're definitely on, you know, like I don't know how much more on someone's radar you could be. Again, this was obviously much before Cody left AEW, so you know, different times.
Yeah.
As you said,
and who knows how much pull the Smash Brothers have now. I mean, it was announced just today that Stu Grayson is no longer part of AEW.
Wow, what, really? I missed that shit.
Yeah. Stu Grayson, they let his contract expire and he's gone. Now there's a big question mark to me. You would assume that Stu and Uno signed at the same time. So why is Stu gone and Uno not? I'm not sure. That news hasn't come out. I don't know what's going on with Uno. But the fact that Stu's gone is very sad to me.
I agree.
You know, not that I watch a lot of AEW, but I think Stu Grayson is extremely talented, and he's one of the best things to come out of the Ontario scene for sure. The Smash Brothers are one of the best tag teams in Ontario indie history.
100%.
So I just want everything good for that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
now,
I'm just hearing about this now.
Before I shout out a couple female names, I'd like to ask you, from the Ottawa scene, the guys that you've been seeing over the last couple of years, is there anybody I haven't mentioned, anybody that really sticks out to you that you've interacted with in the back or see on the indie scene?
God, I don't want to piss anybody off. Well, again, McCrae Martin is a big one for me. I really like his work and feel a lot of good things for him. Fear the Beard, again, we kind of briefly mentioned them.
Absolutely.
Great tag team and can work in any different style, man. Like if
Yeah.
I've seen them work with cruiserweights where they just play catch with the guys and whatever. That's a great match. I've seen them work good like technical tag team matches, regular tag team matches. I've seen them work hardcore matches, right? Like they have a good look for that as well. It's they're very versatile is the point I'm getting at. And again, they're nice guys, so that also helps. Shit, man. I could probably go through a bunch. Again, Junior Benito, I got to shout out again just because that is so impressive,
he's so good.
man. So impressive.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of guys, man. I can't wait to see how the Chinlock kids do. I call them kids, but
Oh, that's right, because Justin has been running a school out of Kingston, right?
Yeah. So and well, I mean, a couple of them are ready, and unfortunately, the pandemic has kind of kicked that in the dick a little bit.
This Chinlock show coming up is going to be kind of a showcase for them, right?
That's right. Well, as far as I know, yes. To be honest, I don't know a whole lot of details about that, so just as much as me, but I would have to assume so because. I mean, and again, I apologize in advance for anybody I'm going to forget here, but Sam Hudson is incredibly talented. And I mean, he comes from, well, I don't know what his background is, but I know my dad was in a movie with his brother or something like that. So like, theater families and all that shit. So I was like, oh, okay, you're someone who was right. Kel Reddick, another guy, Goose. Or as I like to call him, Chester. I'll tell that story sometime, not on the air, but he knows what it means, and CJ Felly knows what it means, so that's good enough for me. Atira, I gotta shout out Atira, man, because nobody's seen her work yet. I think she's going with Atira, the Lunatic Princess, something like that is her gimmick. She's a young kid, man. She's I think she just recently turned 18. And she's worked really, really friggin' hard to do this stuff, man. And I mean, hopefully she's ready soon. And hopefully
is she one of Justin's students?
Yeah. She's one of Justin's kids, yeah. But I mean, she's got a huge heart for it, and is really working hard. So I hope she gets a chance to shine soon. Silver Fox too. Rob, he's only had a handful of matches, but he's a good dude. And apologies to anybody else I'm forgetting. Nathan Sensation, my man.
Well, talk about Atira. That's a good segue for me to go into just. I only mentioned the males, where Ontario has a bevy of fucking very, very talented female wrestlers coming out. The top of which I have nothing against all the women, but I gotta say, the most talented woman in Ontario right now, I think, has to be Alexia Nicole.
Yeah.
Alexia Nicole is going places 100%. She's just coming off a pretty bad injury. She's getting back to herself. She's wrestling again. I can see her big places in the next few years. 100%. As I can for Nova.
Yes.
Nova is tremendous. Taylor Rising, whom I've only got to see a handful of times, is fantastic. Your opponent at Chinlock Wrestling, Jessie Mack.
I'm still gonna kick the shit out of her. No, okay. No, seriously, you want like?
I have a question for you.
What
is this your first intergender match?
1-on-1, yes. I've worked a couple battle royals with women and done comedy spots and shit, but the first real. But if I'm being totally and again, I know this is really kind of the woke thing to say these days. Jessie Mack, I don't look at it as like an intergender thing, because she is legitimately she's tough, man. I'm expecting her to beat the shit out of me, and which is good, because I'm gonna beat the shit out of her. That's really how I feel about it. That's a shoot.
you're gonna beat her like she's a curtain,
right? You're a dick. But yes, seriously though, incredibly talented and again diverse. Man, Jessie Mack is like she does a lot of work with Death Proof, up in Toronto area. And again, I've like lots of respect for her. I'm looking forward I'm looking forward to working with her.
Well, there's a reason she's got a strap over there in Chinlock, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And that strap, like I said before, Jan wouldn't allow anybody to walk around with that fucking belt.
No.
So knowing that Jessie has that belt means she's got to be fucking good, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well,
I mean, soon enough that's something mine. So
it's a low point for Chinlock wrestling.
I get bent. All right.
I think that wraps up 90% of it. We just spent an hour talking about fucking nothing, just like the old days. We talked a lot, we said a lot of words, and we didn't say a fucking thing.
Oh, goddamn right we didn't. Jesus wept. Shortest verse of the Bible.
Tyler was afraid we were going to get canceled because of our fucking like bullshit swearing and shit, but I think we're going to get canceled just because we're boring as fuck. We're not like
bad.
Well, we were before when we first started the show, you had like one young kid and I had zero.
Yeah.
So we were still young whippersnappers.
No, not anymore, man.
Having kids ages you, man.
It's true. Now I'm at 2 and you're almost at 2.
You're at 2. I know of a fucking almost 4-year-old and a 7-pound thing hanging out in my wife's fucking stomach. Like, and this thing's ready to pop, man. Like this thing is, man. She's got a couple toes hanging out. You know what I mean?
There's a fucking image. Jesus, I know your wife.
Which is horrible. They're supposed to be the other way around. That's bad. It's bad. Fuck. What's wrong with you?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I think that's where that our cue to go home.
Yeah.
With that said, is there a plug shit, man? Is there anything? What do you want to plug? Anything you want to plug?
Well, shit. The only thing I got to plug is Chinlock. Again, be there June 4th, Kingston, Thousand Islands.
Where do you get tickets?
You can get tickets. Go to Facebook. Go to Chinlock Wrestling's page on Facebook for information on tickets. I think there's a few locations you can get them in Kingston. If you're in Kingston, if you're not, you can get them online. Be there because we'll see how much I make an ass out of myself this time. I'm dead serious in that. Like, listen, there's kayfabe, and you know me, I'm not a man for kayfabe. Like, Danny Franchise says that you should be there because I'm gonna punch a woman in the face. Danny Parkhill says you should be there because I'm gonna punch a woman in the face. Oh, Cody, I love it.
There's our newest shirt. And with that, I was not even once, not twice, not even close, not even a little bit was I ever Danny Parkhill.
And man, I missed it. But for a long time, I was Michael Walsh, and it was not a good period in my life. I almost fucking drowned myself in a mud puddle. So I'm very glad to say now that I am not Michael Walsh.
But this almost was the lasting mark. It definitely wasn't counted out. If you were tuning in to see Counted Out with
I'm so sorry.
with Tyler doing his backlash list and our special guest being Jonah Firsthand, which we advertised last week. None of that happened.
You promised people Jonah and you gave them me? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Not that Jonah.
Oh, okay, never mind.
No. Jonah's a buddy of ours from New York.
Oh, okay.
Not fucking Bronson Reed.
Fuck that guy. I don't know him. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure he's a nice
guy. How great would it be if I pushed you for Jonah or pushed Jonah for you?
I would have fucking killed you.
We will be back next week. As usual, Tyler will be counting down the top 7 WrestleMania rematches to happen at the Backlash pay-per-view. Our special guest will be Jonah from the Relive Rewind podcast. Other than that, man, not a whole lot to say. We were the lasting mark, and you've been fucking counted out. Go fuck yourselves. We love you. Oh yeah, I forgot to say it. Hugs and kisses.
Oh, fuck.
That's how we used to. That's how we used to end it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Stop recording.